All right, so what do we have here today? This project that I had to put off for the winter. This is a brush that's used for landscaping. Where my wife works, landscape guys gave it to her afterwards. The bristles got worn down, but they use it to clear the sidewalks off. Um, so I actually have two of these. I have a much larger one that's used more industrial applications, much longer needles. That'll be another video. But both of these are being used for my donkeys. I had one that I used for our goats, and they absolutely loved it. They just brush up against it, helps them get off their winter fur, helps them, itch those places they can't quite reach. So the thought for this project was how to hang it, right? You have this big round thing. They have a square building. I don't have any trees or anything that will work for suspending it in between. So what I came up with was mostly using scrap materials. Years ago, when we had our well for the house work down, they left a length of this nice stiff, I don't know what it is, but it's a heavy-duty pipe that holds the wiring for the well harness, the well pump. So I had a length of that. My thought was put that through the center like that, and that way this has something to rotate on, so if they push it and it rotates, it's not going to catch on anything. This is plastic, this is plastic. And then the next step was how to keep them from moving this too far. And the thought I came up with for that is I'm basically building these big wooden washers. So that'll keep this from only traveling so far on either end. I already drilled a couple of holes just so I can put a bolt in there to stop it so it doesn't slide off this way. So now that way, this is set. It's going to rotate through the center on this like an axle. And then just to hang it, what I have here is I thought about this too, and I didn't think any rope would be strong enough. So the thought is I have this plastic chain that I had bought years ago. On I was a discount or something, but so I have a whole bucket of this plastic chain, and I know it's not the strongest stuff, but it should be more than enough. This thing is not that heavy. The other one that has the steel drum is much heavier, but it just basically has to suspend it. All the stress is going to be on this hard plastic. And again, this should, just basically have to hold the weight. They may, push against it a little bit. And worst thing that happens is if it breaks, then I go to something heavier. But for now, this is a lot easier to get overhead and lift. So that's the plan. That's this part. And I'll put the camera in the paddock when I'm going to hang it. All right, so I got the heavy-duty hooks put in. I got the ends secured off. I told you I did a little bolt there just to keep this from sliding back off. Noelle was very kind to help me measure out about how we're going to put this. And just a matter of getting it level. There you go, kids. What do you think? You want to try it out? Ingor. Give it a try? Huh? How come you guys are being bashful? Alright, so we'll see how that does. These chains may or may not be able to take the strain. The sun may make them softer. I can give them a little squeeze with my fingers. But my thought is they're going to be pushing more against the shed. But it's easy enough to always run something else through there. Alright kids, what do you think? You want to give it a try? Yeah? There you go, sweetheart. What do you think? Yeah, there's hay on there because it was stored in the barn. That way you guys can get your ears. If need be, I could lower it a little bit more, or we can go up a little higher. What do you think? There you go. Good donkers. Just in time to start working off your winter coats, huh? You two are so sweet. So all the way down by the chicken coop, there's a lone post sitting there, but that's cemented into the ground because that was an old gate post that I put in. And rather than trying to find a spot that doesn't have ledge or a lot of roots, I'm just going to use that. So when I rent the excavator, I'm going to lift the other heavier one, you know, right up and over and just drop it onto that. I'll just put some kind of stop so it doesn't sit right on the ground. And then they'll have one that's up vertically, and then they'll have this little horizontal one. Luckily the whole thing is light enough that if I do wind up using, you know, having to go to use metal chain, that's fine. But at least they got something to get started with. Thank you, donkers.